Volkswagen claims their Golf R competes with the Subaru STI and the Mitsubishi Evo.
But the stats put it closer to the standard WRX. So we brought a Subaru WRX
and a Mitsubishi Evo MR
to see where this car fits and who it's for.
It's a performance car for grown-ups. The problem that I have is that when it comes to driving, I'm still a child.
I'm coming away very mixed. I like the Golf. I like German engineering. I want to like this car more. I'm driving the 2012 Subaru WRX. Every time I think of Subaru, all I can think of is the Brat. It's like such a Mad Max vehicle to me. They'll just hop on and do anything, go anywhere kind of car. That kind of feeling is still alive and well. This car feels like it's ready to go do anything.
This is a fairly tricked out WRX, but this is not the STI. As a result, instead of a 305 horsepower monster, this is running about 265, but that is still more horsepower than the Golf R for less money. There are fewer reasons now to buy an STI than there've ever been before, because the WRX has become so very capable.
They've got the recipe right. It is dialed. On the other hand, I feel like Subaru's been kind of living in the 80s. It's the shifting feel.
It's robust and it's geared well, but it's very vague. It's hard to find each gear that you want.
Twice during my drive, I've been trying to shift quickly from third to fourth, and I've caught the edge of second. It's also got super long throws. I mean, it's like I'm driving a truck.
So I do miss the 6-speed in the STI. That really is a great transmission compared to this. It's much harder to be precise with this 5-speed.
It feels like it's from the 1980s.
The WRX feels much closer to its economy car roots than the Mitsubishi Evo, but it has a usable sports car capability that most affordable sports cars only dream of.
The engine is the jewel of this car. 2.5 liter, flat 4, and man does this make power.
This is by far the most willing engine of these three. It's the easiest to rev. It just wants to hunt. Wherever you'd like to be in the RPM band, it's ready to go there. And before it spools up the turbo, it has the least noticeable lag. That's because it's got an extra half liter of size.
Now, it's not that powerful below 4,000 RPM, so you're going to want to drive it around above 4 everywhere you go. But if you hot shoe this car, you're going to be surprised.
Every time I dip into the throttle, I'm surprised by how willing and powerful this engine really is. But I'm also surprised every time I put my butt in these seats and I realize, nope, they really are as bad as I remembered them to be.
These are the performance design seats, and they look great. The problem is, they are shockingly terrible. There is no lumbar support for your lower back. Like Subaru has this image to uphold, and they're kind of letting me down here with some interior materials and these seats.
I don't have a problem with an affordable car using more basic materials to give you more performance. But in that case, it should be a more simple design. There's just a ton going on here. Lines crossing each other, swoops meeting right angles is just a little too much. I like Subarus. They are fun, practical, reliable vehicles. In general, though, they are not beautiful cars. This is a very busy design. There's just a ton going on.
The front end is very aggressive. The fender flares look a little bit like those DTM cars, the German Touring Car Championship, and I think Subaru has done a great job making that corporate front end. But putting all the scoop shapes you could possibly think of on one car, it's not Legos.
Interestingly enough, the four-door is 6.5 inches longer than the hatch. So these cars start to look awfully different.
I feel like this car could be so much better looking because there's so much goodness here. There's so much performance in this car.
And it feels kind of close to the Golf as far as its ability to roll over and feel soft and compliant. But you can tell there's an athlete underneath.
Meaning, the faster you drive it, the smaller it gets.
And yes, Subaru tunes their vehicles to have a little bit of understeer naturally, and this is no exception. But because of the all-wheel drive, there's a lot of tires down there trying to really wrench the car out of the corner.
And it's tighter handling than you think it is. Initially, just that first turn in, you think, ooh, this is not so great, but stay with it. Turn into a corner hard, roll onto the throttle, and stay with it.
The WRX is more fun to push than the Golf. And it's got far more capable all-wheel drive system all the time than the Golf R is ever going to have. The real downside is the seats and the stick shift. Two things that should make this car more involving and draw you in more, keep you at a distance because they're just looser and softer than they should be.
To me, the WRX is kind of like comfort food. It's an old recipe, but it's still a good recipe.
This car is like a low-maintenance girlfriend. You want to stay in and watch a movie, if you want to go out and get trashed, if you want to do something that'll be wild fun and you just might wind up in jail, she's willing.
It checks all the boxes is the thing. I mean, aside from the interior, as far as a performance and driving machine, and it's especially checking the price and value box for sure.
I mean, any of the front-wheel drive posers of the world cower in front of the WRX. And every time I'm in one, I'm struck by the fact that this car, you can start to get in it for the same money as the things of like the Civic and the Mazda 3 of the world. And yet you can get this performance.
So I came into this thinking German car, I'm a German car enthusiast, or
So
bigot.
you want me to guess how that's going to go, don't you?